Hi, everyone, and welcome to Crystal and MISHIAH Do Reality Reviews. I'm Crystal Annette, Candid Culture. How are you doing?
Hey y'all, it's MISHIAH Allen. Welcome. Thank y'all for tuning in. We started for real now. Like,
Yes.
y'all, we had this whole start. We was getting into it.
No,
And I was like, wait a minute, we not live.
it's almost like how long we've been doing this, and I'm so glad that we can laugh at ourselves. It's almost like MISHIAH. I'm glad that we're the same sign. Like we just like let's just get it going again.
No, because I kept refreshing my page over and over. I'm like, I'm thinking it's my computer. And I was like, wait a minute, I don't think we're actually live.
But the way I know I clicked it though, I know I said okay, go live, and then I got my
You sure
song going.
did.
But anyway, thank y'all so much. Thank you guys so much for just hanging in with us. Let's get it going. We even I said let's start with Michaela and Zach, but you know what? I appreciate MISHIAH for bringing me to this. Who do you want to start with?
We can get into Ryan and Brett.
Yes. Yes.
I'm like, I don't
Yes.
even feel like doing the whole spill. Let's just get into the where are they now?
Thank
Because
you.
that's kind of where we got a little more info behind what's going on. We see Brett doesn't really want to hang out with the crew like that anymore. She's using volleyball tournaments as excuses and stuff. But then we see Ryan on this date with this girl. And for me, I was like, okay, this girl gonna look like something because you said you weren't attracted to Brett, and Brett is bomb. She's beautiful. And he brings the sack of potatoes
Potatoes.
in this blue and green dress. I was like, where did she get that dress from? What, like, when was that made? That was just, the dress was ugly. Her hair was ugly. It was just like,
But potatoes for no reason. He even said, I'm used to dating women with no depth. And then we see his date, and I'm like, are you serious? Like,
right.
what is happening? And then they walk out, and I was like, so this girl is better than Brett? Really? Like there's the no shape, the it was just all of
Bad.
the things. It was just so bad. It was so bad. And I guess they had known each other for over a month, but they had never connected.
Like he was so into her. Like he was so like trying to force a conversation. I'm like, where was this with Brett?
Right.
Like he sat there and you can clearly, to me, that girl was not into him. She was just like, she looked like in her head, she was thinking, what did I just sign up for? Why did I come here? It was just, it was weird.
And she was trying to force a conversation herself, and she was like, yeah, we've known each other for over a month, or we've known each other for a long time, and you know, when you came to Dallas a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, this is so awkward, but yeah, it was, I was like, he was really trying to what is happening? This girl's better than Brett, really? Yeah.
Girl. I was just like, because the personality, and I get like, I think the sister meant physically they look like a potato, and mentally, like they're potato. Like I saw the potato even mentally, emotionally, as far as her personality. I totally got what the sister meant by that because that girl was just very, haha, well, yeah, kind of, yeah, sort of. And I was like, what? And it's like, he might be one of those people because I'm somewhat like that. When I'm around a shy person, then I become like
You take on that,
outspoken.
right?
Yes. But if I'm around a loud person, I kind of get quiet into myself. So I don't know if he's like that. Like if he's around another introvert, it like brings out something in him, but I was just like, where was this Ryan when you was supposed to be making a connection with Brett?
Right. It was a null and void. And then when him and what's his name? Him and Jose were he when Jose came over, he had made a pumpkin pie. Like, is this man this baker? Like, and he said he likes to bake, but where was this trying? Where was the effort when you were with Brett? Like, no effort at all. It was just it was just all bad. And him in that white shirt, and he's just definitely trying at this restaurant.
But didn't it look like he just rolled, like literally rolled out of bed? I was like, why is your hair like that? You didn't walk past the iron? I was just so irritated with him in that episode. Like,
And I tried to take consideration of production. Like, I was like, you're not sweating under the lights. There's no extra lights from this restaurant. Like, what is all the sweat? And you just look like, yeah. And the eyes, breast
bad.
eyes, it was all the same. Yeah. I was like, but this girl, I think when his sister said potato, this girl was potato body, potato. I thought the sister meant like no depth, nothing between the ears. I
Yes.
was like, and she looked substantially younger than
She
him.
was weird. I was like, I don't know. It was just so weird. It was just the dress, the hair. It was just like, what does he see in this woman that he did not see in Brett? It was just mind boggling to me.
But she doesn't bring anything to the table. That's what he sees. Brett brings something to the table. And this girl, she looked like she's a college student or a college graduate. She just looked, and
But
that's
like,
what
cause I was kind of stuck on was he said something about a Victoria's Secret model or so I thought that was more his type.
right.
So to find that somebody less attractive than Brett was his type, it threw me off. I was just like,
But you see how little and like Titi, like little and cute. I don't know. You know what I mean? That's what he wanted. And I kept saying like Miranda Lambert, like blonde, like what's her name? Taylor
yeah,
Swift type. She wasn't
right.
even that. She wasn't even Carrie Underwood. Like she wasn't even that. That's what I was like, oh, okay. So he's gonna be no, she wasn't even that. I was like, what is happening? I just she
Mm-mm.
looked like she a college graduate. That yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, wow. Just wow.
Let's. So
Just
I don't know if you have anything else for them for
no,
the
the only
reunion.
thing I have is Michaela. We're gonna get into Michaela a little later, but Michaela said something when she was with all the girls. She was like, I don't like Ryan, as you know. I don't like Ryan. But
Mhm.
she said, and I was like, you know what? For all of the Michaela of it all, she doesn't pull any punches. She said, if Ryan would have stayed out of our relationship and concentrated on trying in his own relationship, then maybe there would have got somewhere. And I said, you know what? You said a lot, right? So
He actually had a point. I think that's the only thing she said all night that had a bit of sense in it because she had a point. He was in Johnny and Bal's relationship, Michaela and Zach's, Rachel and Jose. I think he thought Gil and Myrla were perfect, so he just like stayed out of it. But he was in everyone's relationship over there baking pies and Kikiing. So
yes,
she was right about that.
yeah, she was right about that. That's the only thing I have. That's the last thing I had to say. I had to say it.
I guess we'll go to Johnny and Bao. First of all, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm jumping kind of back and forth between the reunion and the Where Are They
Yes,
Now.
I just
But
y'all, and I
I'm
was just saying, I made sure and told me, Misha, make sure you watch Where Are They Now. So I hope everybody in the chat has watched that. Keep going.
because I was like, okay, no, Johnny isn't there sitting there on the FaceTime talking to Miss Sarah Lee, Bao's ex best friend. Like, you're not even with Bao anymore. Like, why do you feel the need to keep dragging this woman and have like this hate train or hate club for her? And even when he was telling her, Bao came to the reunion and she started again and she did. I was like, she didn't do nothing but answer the questions she was asked. And I feel like Johnny, it's like, I think it's just in him to nag and try to like break people down, because I don't feel like Bao was doing anything coming at him wrong or hard. She was answering the questions that were asked about her experience. So I'm like, why does he keep making everything about Bao? Like, Bao don't care. Like, Bao has moved on. She was on, child, we'll get to the date with Zach and all that. But I was just like, Johnny, let it go, grow up. Why do you need to like be in cahoots with Bao's enemy and sit there and have conversations about how terrible Bao is when y'all are divorced? It didn't make no sense to me.
Okay, so how everybody dropped the tea about Zach and Bao early, right? So you know what that looked like to me? Like he was approaching her for a date, the Sarah Lee. I said, okay, so that's what
He did
I
have
thought.
a bottle of wine. He had that
Yeah.
wine glass. I said, what kind of FaceTime is
Anytime.
this?
Yeah, exactly. What kind of FaceTime is this? To me, it definitely looked like, and this girl, and they have said more than once, Sarah is Bao's friend for 20 years. She did nothing but put Bao down the whole, oh, you and I get along better with, and Bao's this type of person, and Bao's a dog, and we're cats, and all of this other stuff. I said, okay, you're gonna sit there on the phone with somebody that's supposed to be your ex's friend of 20 years and connect. Oh, that just sounds so great. That just sounds like I've never heard it put any better. I said, this man has been trying to get to date Sarah. That's what he's doing. That's what he's doing. I honestly, the Zach and Bao of it all, at least he actually asked her out. This man was doing too much. He was asking Sarah out.
Huh, that's interesting. I didn't think of it that way, but that's interesting that you said that. That's very interesting. Because I was just like, he's just had it out for her. And so it's like, do you just hate women overall? Is this what you're going to do in every relationship? I've just kind of, sorry, y'all. I was just like, let it go, Johnny. Johnny and Myrla, they have a little friendship thing going on. What did you think about? So obviously Gil has his moment where he has to walk off the stage. Johnny keeps making his comments, and Rachel's like, back off, Johnny. What did you think about that? Okay. Well, I was Johnny. I think Johnny needs that boost in his oh, you're muted.
Sorry, I'm having dog issues over here, y'all. So, so you know what I thought about that? One, I think that Johnny is like the jabs that he kept doing. Like you could tell that Gil was feeling some type of way, and the fact that he kept the jabs going, that wasn't cool. And I don't care what people say about Gil, but that's another man. That's his situation, how he's dealing with it. For him to keep jabbing like that really proves Johnny's personality. Yeah, I thought that was horrible. I thought the how he's talking to, or even he wasn't even talking to Gil. He was kind of talking. Oh, I guess he didn't like that. I guess he didn't like that question. Like you could tell everybody else is joking, everybody else is laughing and everything, and Gil is in his feelings. That stop with the jabs. He didn't even have to say it. So, and we'll get into our opinions on Gil in a second. But
yeah, I was a little okay. I'm Team Myrla, but did Myrla have to be all up in Johnny's lap? Like she wasn't sitting on his lap. She was turned.
No, he was turned.
Him. They were basically hand in hand. I was like, you wasn't even sitting that close to Gil. So I'm kind of like, okay, Myrla, like,
No, he and then
can
the
you?
the friendly hits and stuff like that. That was
Mhm,
too that was too flirty. That was too petty. That was too like
mhm,
you know how you're flirty kind of like playing with a
mhm.
friend and right in front of Gil's face. And a lot of people were saying that like his tears and stuff like that was unwarranted. But I think that how he deals with it and how other people are dealing with it is different. And
Right.
I'm sorry, but let's stay on Johnny and let's stay. If we're staying on Johnny and Bao, this proves what a jerk Johnny is. I'm sorry, um,
Yeah.
because to me, uh, going back to him and Bao's conversation, I get it if you are on this show and she wanted to keep under wraps how they dealt with like how them their sex and everything, and at what point they have sex. Sometimes
Mhm,
you don't want everything out there. You
mhm,
want to keep things under wraps. Now him thinking, oh well, she's being fake. That's not her thinking that she's being fake. That's wanting to be some keep some things to herself, keep some things between her and her husband. And for him to act like she's not being her true self, and him saying, I just what she was doing to me, I had the last 2 weeks of the relationship, I had to go home and spend time with myself because of what she was doing to me. She was doing this to me. She wasn't doing this to you. And even going, let's, and I know I'm skipping ahead, so y'all, I'm annoyed. Let's go to the little get together at the ranch, right? And
mhm.
Bao shows up with Zach, but they did like as friends. Okay, I'm gonna even give it to them that they showed up as friends because it wasn't nobody's business, right? But
Mhm.
Bao didn't even pay attention to him because, man, you've treated her like crap. You said you wanted to be with anybody but her. You've treated her like crap this whole time. You guys aren't together. She doesn't have to acknowledge you. Listen, y'all don't want to be together. He says, hey, Bao. She doesn't say anything to you. Okay. He's like, oh, I have to go. I have to go because I knew it was going to be awkward with Bao. And Bao said it right. She said, this, you put yourself in this bubble. You did
Right.
this to yourself. I can admit that there are some things that I wanted to keep to myself. There are some things that I still have a job. I still have a family. My family, besides the wedding, they didn't want to be on camera. There were some things that I needed to um keep separate. I admit that. But that's still me. And he didn't like
Mhm.
any part of her, and he just treated her like crap
Right.
this whole time. And he doesn't even see it that way. That's the thing. That's what really is so sad and hurtful, that he didn't even see how it wasn't anything he that she was doing to him. The situation was not the right situation. So hey, why didn't he talk to her and say, okay, I know you don't, the family doesn't want to be on camera. His father didn't want to be on camera. I know that this is not the perfect scenario, but what can we talk about? What can we not talk about? um but this does shine a little bit more light on that dinner. And when he was tearing up them roses, I guess they had all of this conversation off camera. And then when she starts to unload all of
Oh,
this, he's
and
like,
he said, I'd
where
rather
the
talk to my wife first. Okay.
yes. And he's like, where the hell is all of this coming from? Because he's thinking we're supposed to be, having these one on one conversations. And she's just unloading all of this. Oh, I do gourmet meals and I do all of this stuff and I do all of that stuff. And I try so hard and I do all of it. And I said, okay, so that I'll give him a little bit of that.
I'll give him that one. I will give
That's
him
it
that.
though.
Yes.
That's it. But he's still a jerk, and he still act like she did all of this to me. And I said, okay, that the tearing up of the roses. Now I see why you were so frustrated and so upset, because she's been wanting to keep everything under wraps, and she unloaded like she had verbal diarrhea. I'm gonna give you that one, but the not inviting her to the birthday party, not saying that anybody but her, and just every 5 minutes wanting to leave. yelling it and not yelling at her, but going in another room and cussing to the high heavens and doing all this other stuff. It just, the whole thing was just mean and spite, and how he talked, how the little jabs he was doing, not at Gil,
Right.
but at the situation, but indirectly directed towards Gil. That's
Right.
petty, and that's trifling, and that's spiteful. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm
I
off.
agree, but it was even the whole she had planned conversations. I'm like, we all do. Like, if you're gonna approach someone about something, first of all, you want to make sure you sound your tone, your wording is right. So I don't feel like she's wrong for that. It's different if she's like, okay, we're gonna fight, okay? I'm gonna call you this and then you say this. That's different. But if she's mentally preparing herself for a conversation with you, especially, uh-oh, I guess Crystal will be back, especially since Bao clearly has an issue with being passive aggressive. I don't think there's a problem with her plan. You did not, your face did not have to look like you just got zapped back. But, but yeah, I don't think there is an issue with that. I just think Johnny, it has to be an inner issue because I don't understand what Bao could have done in this 8 weeks that makes you hate her so much that even after you're not together, you have to continue to bash her and put her down. So that makes me think you're going to do this with every woman. It's not just Bao. So I don't know what type of relationship him and his mother had or what he saw as far as how women are treated. I don't know, but he's got some serious issues to work on. Let's get into, should we go to Michaela and Zach? No, let's do Rachel and Jose. Let's go. We'll do the we'll save the good stuff for later, but let's do Rachel and Jose. It's, it kind of like what I thought would happen happened. It kind of makes sense now why Rachel went to the ex's house and not to her family's house with that first fight. Because you see, after she went to have to move back in with her family, now they don't like Jose. Now they know about the arguments. Now
Right.
they know about the fights. So now I kind of get why she went to the ex. I kind of don't even think anything happened with the ex now. I get why she did that now. But now I'm just like, okay, Rachel, like, what is the plan now? Like, because you talking about y'all see each other 2 and 3 times a week and you spend a night once a week. I'm like, so y'all dating? Like, are you
Yeah,
doing
her toothbrush is over the
like,
house. Yeah, they've like totally regressed back into just dating and talking on the phone.
they
What's
high they high key did what Zach wanted to do, but that's like
your
that's
point?
that's what they're doing. But
They said
anyway,
let's stay married. Let's, what did he say? Let's get divorced but date. And they're
yeah,
still getting married. There's, but she wanted to get divorced. She was done. But the sad thing is, this is exactly what I said was going to happen. I said, Rachel, when you have to move into this man's house, it's going to be, the control's going to come in, and he's going to want to take over. He's going to want to regulate, where you put your stuff and how you put your stuff and all of these things. And that's exactly
mhm,
what happened. And Johnny, and I think we talked about this last time, Johnny wanting to be like the investigator for him and call and say, well, you need to start doing stuff and stuff like that. But oh, and we didn't talk about Johnny and them being like the best of friends now, and going on trips together. We got to go back to that. But
okay.
but um that's exactly what I said was going to happen. He was going to become controlling, and he wants things his way, and it just doesn't work like that. So I think that they've just regressed back into dating each other and talking on the phone And no, you hang up. No, you hang up. They want to start going bowling. She's somebody that likes to do stuff, and he wants to be at home and sit under each other and watch TV. And that's not the wife you have. So I feel like now he's finally getting it. When
Mm.
she was ready to get divorced and walk out the door, he's finally get. But and she even said after I moved into the house, it was constant arguments. It wasn't one at a time. It was constant arguing. And she said I was just exhausted from the constant arguing. But I definitely think he needs some professional help for this anger issue that he has. He didn't even know that he even didn't even think he had an anger issue. He thought that, oh, just what is it called? You have the tea, just insert water. I got the house, I got the good job, I got everything. Just insert a wife, just insert a woman. That's what he thought was going to happen, and it's not right. Mm-hmm.
That's true. And I mean, and it's now you see the experts kind of they wanted these couples to stay together and work it out, but now that Rachel's doing it, they're like, well, he's abusive, he's controlling. Well, how long are you gonna stay? I'm like, what do y'all want from these people?
Right.
Like, y'all basically talked her in to like working it out and all these things. So it's like they pick and choose who they want to hold accountable. We'll get into that even more later, but
Girl.
yes. So I just felt like Rachel might lose herself in the sense because when she said like the girls did not know that Rachel and Jose were back together. And she said, well, I didn't want to tell them because I want to be like I'm going back and forth. So you already see that kind of shame in the relationship where now she feels like she has to hide things because she doesn't now she's protecting Jose. She already knows they don't like him. She already knows they don't like things that he's done. So I feel like she's just kind of walking her way down this path of abuse. And I'm like, girl, just get out of it.
I hear what you're saying, but yes and no. Yes, there's a like she even admitted there's an embarrassment there, but it's all at the same time. As I think it was Mr. Sunken Eyes who said last week uh, that Myrla and that kept imposing herself into their relationship. So I think to Rachel needs to make her own decisions, and if she would stop telling other people who don't have successful relationship and asking other people what's going on, so and getting their advice, and she needs to whatever it like if whatever decision she makes, it's her decision, and not tell them about it, because and I think that that's how she is going to find herself, because that's how she said, you know what, we're arguing too much, I'm tired of it, I'm leaving. And she made her decision on her own with that, so she needs to make her own decision and not um lean on so many other people. But going back to what you said earlier about the family, after the family saw him lock her out and the family saw that footage, yes, you are going to have to rebuild that. You
Right.
know, if that was my daughter or my sister or whoever, and I saw you lock her out, no amount of, oh well, I didn't know, or oh well, it was an accident. No, no, my father would not have let you get away with saying it was an accident. It would not have been okay. So he's going to have to rebuild that relationship with the family and with the friends, and that's it. But I also, she does need to find herself, but also don't. But I do think that it is a good idea that she don't tell everybody about her. She needs to make her own decision, and if that decision is, um, and I almost, it takes me again back to what's her name, Virginia and Eric. And so
Mm-hmm.
when she finally made her own decision to say, you know what, this ain't for me. So, and don't rely on Myrla's opinion or Brett's opinion or anybody else's opinion, or definitely not Michaela's opinion
Right.
on it. So don't tell the girls. Anyway.
I'm like, should we just jump right into Zach and Michaela? I really just want to get into Zach because that's what's on my mind right now. when he was at that pool table on the Where Are They Now and leaned over and asked about out, I was like, wait a minute, what? Because I thought this was just a sneak and play type of thing. And it's like you hear the rumors, but to actually see the beginning of it, if that's what you want to call it, I was just like, why is this being filmed? Which makes me think production was involved, and production egged him on. Where did this come from? So I felt that. But then I started saying, you know what? He has a pattern, he has a motive. I feel like he was love bombing Bao. The excessive compliments, the just, oh, I really like you, so when can we go on another date? And they ain't even bought you your doggone drink yet, and you ain't even had one conversation. You talking about a second date, and you're just, and I feel like I don't know. I just feel like he's playing on the fact that she was in this relationship with Johnny. He talked down to her. He did certain things. So he's trying to be the opposite in the sense. I feel like he was doing a bit much too soon. And to me, it seemed a little forced on his end because Bao just kind of gives that homie vibe. She just like very, I don't know, like down to earth. Like I just don't get a romantic vibe from them at all. And the fact that he just keeps pushing with the compliments and the just pushing it, I was just like, this is weird. So I just, yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. I just felt
So
like, yeah. Hmm.
so there's several things. One, I will agree with you to a point where I was like, is this staged? I was, I did I that did come to my mind because it just came into my mind. But two, uh the Zach of it all, he is that awkward type of guy. He is, even in his darkest hours with Michaela, he said, besides my mother, you're the best woman. Like so the love bombing, and that's him. So that didn't surprise me. And honestly, if you really think about it, like Johnny said that she's the type that like she, what do you call it, not programs her conversations, but she like thinks about her conversations. I
Yeah.
think that he looked, unless, like I said, it could have been staged, but when you want to ask somebody out, even if somebody, he did look, he said, at least he was honest that I'm a little nervous, because I do have to ask you a question. So I actually thought, although I thought it was kind of staged, and I'm very suspicious of production, this especially
Yeah.
Mav's production. I was like, oh, this is kind of sweet, because he was like, I do have to ask you a question. Like he's been thinking about it. Like now she kind of thinks about her stuff, even though she's not programming every conversation out. He kind of thought about it, and he's been like, I really like you, and we've been hanging out more often, and I would like at least like like to, let's have a date. So he's kind of that awkward guy, as we all know. Like I just, him love bombing her or saying, well, what a great person she is, all those things, that didn't surprise me about him. Their conversation, I actually appreciate Bao when she said, listen, I did this for a reason. So we are going to date. Let's see where this goes, and let's see if this is going to be our
Yeah.
next step.
Maybe
So I
she
do.
picked up on it because she said, I want to know what your intention
Yes,
is.
I want to
So,
see you on a date. Like I want to see you in this, because all I see is somebody like we just go hang out and shoot pool. So I did, even though it was like her picking the earrings and picking the different shoes and stuff like that. That stuff I do with you as my girls and stuff like that. Because y'all don't know, I will, like, even tonight before CMK, I got two different shirt ideas. So and stuff like that. So I get it, but I did think it was kind of staged. I will agree with you on that. But that is Zach. That is him. He does that. So um I appreciate them seeing that, okay, was this staged, or was this kind of how he started thinking about, let me ask this girl out for a date. So I appreciate the kind of seeing the beginning of it. Yeah. Um
do you think
mm,
this will last though? Like to me, it didn't seem like she at first it didn't seem like she was really into him like that. Like she
True.
just saw him as a friend.
I
And
agree
then
with
when
that.
he asked her out, I think a part of her is still taking on that like role of her mother and like just having like just going with it and saying yeah and then going on the date. And it's like, do you like, to me I'm like, are you just happy you got attention? Are you just like happy that someone's complimenting
Okay.
you? Or are you like really into Zach? I don't really feel like she's into Zach like that, but
I don't
hey.
think so. I don't think that they have. She's had a time. She's had a chance to get into him like that. All she looked at him as one Michaela's husband or Michaela's ex, and my pool playing partner. Like she does. She's not. And she even said, "I let me see how he is on a date." You know what I mean? But she did put effort into it. That was a pretty dress, and she said, "Okay, if this is a date, I'm gonna put my best foot forward." Um, but I almost think that they are the perfect type of awkward. They're both kind of like sometime in a relationship you're gonna need somebody that's they're both very awkward. They are. And
I
but him and
get
his
it.
communication skills, because she's not the best, like him and his communication skills, he needs extensive help with communication. He needs extensive help with communication. um Maybe her spreadsheets is going to help him with the communication. I don't know, but I don't know.
I
I don't know
just don't
about
trust him.
lasting.
I don't trust him. I'm just
Mm-mm.
like, I am like, I got my eye on you, Zach. But Michaela, Michaela, the way, okay. So she claims that Zach doesn't care. Zach this, Zach's that. Zach tries to apologize. She's like, shut up. You know, that was freaking
That
hilarious.
was so
I was
funny.
dying because that's like I felt that because I felt the same thing, but I was like, I don't know if I would have said it out loud, but
But she said it so matter of factly that it's funny though. It was so funny because I hear what okay. He was trying to apologize, but his communication skills are so off that it's going to take him 10 years to get there. He's going
right.
to need a bee and a tree analogy to get there. So his communication skills are so off. But at the same time, she was like, shut up. You don't like, she just started cussing. So it was so matter of fact. I was like, ooh, there was just that biting Michaelaism. We're going to have, like, that's what we need, some Michaelaisms. But what I do have to say is that even though her actions don't meet it, I do hear what she's saying when she was trying to stop him from getting in the car, especially at a dark night, those Texas roads, all of those things. You have triggers that you don't even think, you know. I have a friend, that passed away a certain way. And when I hear of certain, it takes me back there. So I get that, but her reaction to it is what she
Mhm.
needs help with dealing with. She needs extensive professional help. And we've talked about this. People have said, well, he knows that I have not separation anxiety. What's it called, y'all? And
Abandonment
thank
issues.
you. I keep doing that. I have abandonment issues, and I've said this so many times. Just because this man knows that you have abandonment issues doesn't mean he knows how to help you get through it, or doesn't mean he knows how to deal with it. And that's with
Mhm.
everything. Just because you have abandonment issues doesn't mean that you're going to react the right way. You're not going to react the right way. It's not. So yeah, I think. Hold on one second, people. I'm sorry. I'll find.
So let's get
Oh
into
yeah, sorry. I'm sorry. Again, dog issues. But just because, so Michaela just cussing him out so quickly, um, he was like, I'm not even gonna apologize. It's not even worth it anymore. It's not even worth it. And her saying, you don't care about me, you don't care. No, he cares. He just doesn't understand. He doesn't know the way he shows caring, the way he shows like love and connection. It's just not the right way. It's not the way you need him to. That's it. Mm.
Yeah. Ooh.
You know who we have left.
Is it just Gil and Myrla? Is there anybody else?
No. Do you have anything left for the Zach and Michaela of it all?
No, I did think about the one moment when, because they were addressing all the rumors. They were addressing the Johnny and Myrla, the Bao and Zach. Then they, what do you call it? They got into the Jose rumors about Jose being playing for the other team. And I was like, no, they did not say that to that man's face. Because of course he's not going to get on national TV and say, yes, I'm gay. Like, he's not, like, no matter what his orientation is, he's sitting there with Rachel. Why would he sit there and say, I am? So I was just like, what was the point of that?
What was the point of that? Like, it wasn't and he's like, oh, I think it's funny. And like everybody else thinks it's funny. And then, even Michaela co-signed on it. I think it's funny too. Why even mention that? You're not going to mention, no, we're not, he didn't mention how we all think that Ryan has sunken eyes and has issues. Like, so why would you even mention that? It was silly. So I don't know why he mentioned that. But so AW said that she doesn't really think that Zach cares at all. I think he does care. I just don't think that he because of so many issues, because of so many of Michaela's actions. She needs somebody to care. She needs somebody to constantly have her back, and she needs that constant proof of caring. And Zach's not that person. He's just not going to show up the way she wants her to, the way she needs somebody
True.
to show up. He never was going to be that person. He just never was. But her thinking, you never cared about me and you don't give a F. I was like, that's not necessary. That's just not.
And I always feel like when she does that, she's trying to get a reaction. She gets reassurance and attention. And that doesn't. So I think that's why a lot of the things she even said when she was on stage by herself and Zach wasn't there, I think she knew it was going to like raise up a reaction in him. So I don't know if that little Zumba kickboxing, whatever she was doing, I don't know if that's going to work all the way. I don't know if she needed to sit in the park with somebody like Gil was doing, but we'll see. We'll see with Michaela.
She needs someone less precious than Zach.
Precious.
Zach, I don't know. That does say precious. I was like, is he a precious boy? He's like extra sensitive. Celery. He's okay. Hey, Tia Maria, thank you so much for tuning in, Tia Maria. No one can show up the way Michaela wants. She needs to heal before she can be a good partner. And absolutely, she needs to heal. Every time you get in the car, if you have just had a car accident. I have a friend that got into a car accident. Now she doesn't drive on the freeway at all, and that was 12 years ago. Like, so if it everything you do puts you back in that world, she needs help. She's gonna need extensive help to get out of that situation. And you're never gonna be completely healed from that. Somebody that you truly loved and cared for, your father, died in that a horrible way. So, but she needs to be able to better deal with situations when they come. Yeah, because these actions are going to come. You're not the next partner she gets with is not gonna, they're going to be arguments. There may not, they're going to be fights. It's not going to be perfect. So
Right.
Highly sensitive. Yes, he's a yes. Zach is
Okay, that's what she means. Okay.
So we are saying he's not a sweet, sweet boy. And I get in trouble, and I'm so glad Misha's with me because, like, we were talking about Jose, and sometimes I say sweet, sweet boy, and that's not
Oh
what he
my
meant.
goodness.
So,
So let's get into not Zach, Gil and Myrla.
okay.
And yeah, I want to get first into, okay, Myrla is my girl. Okay, she should not have blindsided him, as Gil is saying, which I think he's putting 20 on 10. I think he's exaggerating it. Maybe he was slightly blindsided, but I don't think it was to the point where you're going to come on national TV in this funk. I think he is milking it. He knows that he kind of, his treatment towards her kind of build up a case against Myrla, where he knows that more people don't like Myrla versus him. So I think he is falling on the sympathy card. I do. I don't doubt that he's hurt. I don't doubt that he wanted the relationship to work, but I just feel like he is putting 20 on 10 with the theatrics of it all. And I feel like he's milking it. That's just my opinion. So, and I think for the experts to come out and just gang up on Mirla and just go hard, I'm like, why? Okay, so no one at all is going to hold Gil accountable for the verbal emotional abuse that he had towards Myrla, and the things he said to her, the ways he's put her down and tried to. Here's the thing, Gil needs to feel like he's in control or he's one up over someone, and no one acknowledged that. And that was my issue. How are you going to sit here and Myrla's saying it over and over, but you want to come so hard on her? And I'm like, y'all did this on purpose, though. How are you going to sit here and like act like she's a child in timeout when you purposely put these mismatches together? You knew that's not what she wanted, and you knew he technically didn't want that either. So why are you going to sit there pointing the finger only at Mirla? I couldn't do it. I couldn't deal with Kevin saying over and over that Gil's the MVP, Gil's this and that. I'm like, what are you talking about? I just the show, I just wasn't feeling that whole conversation. Like, you not gonna gang up on my girl like that. You just not gonna do that to her. But I just don't feel like Mirla is the only one wrong in this relationship. Mirla's the only one that needs improvement. Mirla's the only one that was heartless. So when he was drawing her face on the volleyball, that what was that? Like, when he was going back and complaining, calling her a toddler, doing these things, what was that? So that's just my take on it. I don't doubt that he's hurt. I think in a sense, he has a little bit of Paige in that he's in love with the idea of marriage and the idea of having a family. So, but at the same time, you want to be happy. You want to be in a healthy relationship. So I don't think you should be so like hung up on something that wasn't going to work. Because from what Myrla said, I was unhappy and you were unhappy too. So I don't know if he wanted Myrla to keep faking the funk, but yeah, I just didn't like this whole reunion, this whole season, that no one's really held him accountable.
You cannot put a timeline on somebody's pain or somebody's hurt. And yes, I and we've talked about before, I will the what I will agree with is Gil should not have called her a brat and he should not have called her certain things. And um especially the time out and I when us being on the show together, I the first time he did this during the honeymoon, I was like, you never, she is a complainer, but you should have never gone down that pool and talked about her behind your back, behind her back. Absolutely
Mhm.
true. But he was devoted not just to, he was dedicated to, yes, to the marriage and to his wife. And he was not putting 20 on 10. He, now Zach is somebody who puts 20 on 10 is, and I will agree, is extra sensitive. Gil was not crying just to put 20 on 10. He was not trying to cry. He was not trying to just like, he was like, I've never cried all season. And this is, I just cannot stop. He was really hurt.
Why
Yes,
nobody
he was hurt by the
cried?
situation, though, Misha. You can't tell me that this man wasn't dedicated to, like she said, he did do things for me. He was, to him, showing love, and to her, she said, I was never attracted to him, but then during the show, I'm very attracted to my husband. And then now I think she did blindside him, because he was doing everything. Now granted, he would say things that she didn't, that was not okay, but she said, I never told him, I never said, I don't like when you call me a brat, I don't like when you call me a diva. She should have said something, because, and I don't agree that that's how you show love, but to him, he even said, to my boys, or to my, that's how I say that, when I would never say stuff like that to you if I didn't like you. It's not cool. I agree with you, but that to him was, that's how he, that's how you do it. If that wasn't cool with her, she should have said something. She should have said, I know to you, you think you're playing, you think you're joking, you think it's cute to call me a brat. It's not cute. I don't like it. She could have said that to him. She never did. Now, I don't agree with him calling her a brat and calling her all of those things. And then I definitely, as I said before, don't agree with him talking about her behind her back at the pool. And I think was like one other I was like, what are you doing? But the fact is, she never said it. Even if she didn't see the time at the pool, she never, but the time, oh, when he said it to her mother or all of those other times, she never said, I don't like that, you know? So just say, I don't like it. I don't like it. As your wife, if we're going to be married for longer than 2 months, I don't like this. Stop. And even, and I gotta say, even Bao said, I know you think that you're just joking, but that makes me uncomfortable. Why didn't she say that? She never did. And those were not crocodile tears of his. He was actually really hurt. And yes, even if he was hurt because the ending of a marriage and not the ending of the relationship with Myrla, it's still the ending of something that he truly believed in, and he really wanted to make this work. Yes, this is not necessarily the ideal woman that I wanted. Neither of them got what they wanted, but he was going to try. It seemed to me like, and the way Myrla was acting it with Johnny and acting towards the other castmates, and didn't even care. It seemed to me like she was like, this is an experiment, this is a fun 2 months, let me just do something to let it see how it works. If it doesn't work, oh well, I met some cool people. That's how she reacted. Oh well, I met some cool people. Misha, it seemed like, oh, if I never talk to Misha again, oh well, this was fun. That's not how I would ever react. But that's how she came off. I'm sorry, she was so flippant, and she was really just did not care about his feelings at all. Now I agree, he should not have talked to her. I called him Squawking Gill. I put it across this thing. That was not cool for him to do. And the times when he would call her all of these things, absolutely true. But she even said it wasn't the money stuff. So if it wasn't the money stuff, say something more than that. I'm sorry, but just the way she treated him, those were not just silly Myrla just or Gil just being 20 on 10. You'd still have to treat somebody like they are, like their actual person. And then just turn, and then it just, she was the one laying it on thick. She was putting it on 10, 20 on 10 when she was like moving towards Johnny. Oh, Johnny's my best friend. Oh, you were best. And I was like, she didn't even, when Johnny would go after Gil, Rachel was the one that told him to stop, not Myrla. She wasn't even, she didn't, Gil, when the rest of the cast got on there, Gil was not even there. He was like, he was a, could have been a fly on the wall to her. That was an empty seat to her. And I'm sorry, but I think that she could have treated him a little bit better. Yes, the only thing, and I think somebody said it earlier, but before I got on my diatribe here, I think that what happened was, and I can't even blame her for this. She may have seen what he said to her at the said about her at the pool, and she's like, you know what? But she didn't even say it was that. Because, and that's why I wanted to watch the show over again.
There's things
Maybe
we aren't seeing though, because for
she didn't say
him
it though. That's the
to
thing. If that's true,
mhm.
she said after those 2 weeks happened, there were things that I realized um financially for our well-being that would make me safe financially going forward in the relationship. She said that to make me feel safe financially in the relationship had nothing to do with, she could have said, I saw the way he acted at that pool during the honeymoon at the playback and I didn't like it and that didn't make me feel safe. I would have even given it to her on that one because that I did not like. She said nothing about it. She said it still had to do with financially. If that was it, then why didn't she say that? I'm
She's not
sorry.
a great communicator, and I think we know that now. And we've seen like she's not good. I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying that she's not communication isn't, from what I've seen, is her thing. And for me, and I'm saying that from the standpoint as her saying or going into depth of what was wrong or what made her break up with him, as far as putting that out there in front of the like reunion people. I don't think she would do that. But for me, for him to sit there with his insecurities blazing, talking about, well, I make $100 more than you every 2 weeks. So that makes me think, if he's saying that on camera in front of people, what other conversations are they having behind the scenes regarding finances, regarding her spending, regarding whatever it may be, in her thinking she's better than everyone? What other things were said behind the scenes that we're not seeing with Gil? So that's what makes me think that. But no, she was not. I can say she was dead wrong for sitting there in front of Gil. Like, Gil was in clear view of her and Johnny, and she's rubbing on his arm. I was like, are they holding hands? Like, what is going on? Like, she was wrong for that. She could have broke up with him better. I do not doubt that she blindsided him. I never once doubted that. But when you're sitting there and they weren't even real full on tears were coming out. There were at some point,
He doesn't
yes,
cry like Zach though. Sorry, I'm sorry, interrupt you. Go ahead. Sorry.
yes. Well, yeah, I guess he doesn't cry like Zach, but I'm not saying his when I say 20 on 10, there's still emotion there. There's still valid emotion there. I'm saying I think he played it up a little bit for the cameras.
I
That's
disagree.
it. I'm not saying he wasn't wrong, like he was wrong or like for having those emotions, none at all. But I think from what I've seen this season, where he's had no issues bashing her, putting her down, I don't think he has no issue sitting there putting 20 on 10 for, and maybe it wasn't 20 on 10, maybe it's 20 on 15. I don't know. 20 on 19. I'm not saying he didn't feel anything, he didn't hurt, but that's just what I picked up. And I do think he genuinely, hopefully it's genuinely wanted it to work. I do think that she, and I agree. The I'm not trying to laugh at this man, but when you see that man selling protein shakes and blenders and grills, and you don't say anything, yes, she's wrong for that. She should have said something decision day. Decision day would have been the day, because my whole thing is what I had an issue with Myrla is that he's been saying all this time his issues with her. So why did you get to decision day and not say anything? But maybe those things were said behind the scenes, because she said they had conversations about finances. So I don't know exactly. And here's the thing, Myrla's very tricky with her words. She's very tricky with her wording. If you don't apply critical thinking when you listen to Myrla, I can see how Gil might be led on, but here comes Myrla. No, no, no. I never said I love you. I never said this. I never said that. So she's very tricky with her words, in the sense that if you're not using critical thinking, if you're not kind of analyzing her words, you will get sucked into thinking it's more than what it is. I can't remember she said something. I can't even remember what it was, but I caught it and I was like, oh, so if Gil probably took that as this, because it was very tricky, I think, the way she words things, but you I get what y'all are saying, that she's cold-hearted, cold-blooded, all that stuff. But yeah, she is a tricky one, but I'm still team Marilyn.
So okay, let's be even simpler. The thing about the dog. Okay, so
Oh, I forgot. Go ahead. Go
she
ahead. I
made
forgot
it
about
seem like she hated dogs, like with disdain, with just like the true hatred for dogs. So to me, I'm like, but there's dog. I have a dog that doesn't shed, like literally has never
That's
shed.
Crystal.
So
Crystal,
what
that's what it was. That's what it was.
she said,
She,
I didn't never said I don't like dogs. I just
yes,
like big
he
dogs. She
said,
never, she did say I don't like dogs. She said I don't like
she,
dogs. I don't.
she said, I do not want to have to take on the responsibility for something that's yours. Basically saying, I don't want to be forced into walking the dog when that's your job, or when you already had a walker that was doing it. And I said, that's when I caught it. I was like, aha, she didn't technically say in that scene,
In that
I
scene.
I don't like dogs, but she said basically, I don't want to be responsible for your dog. So that's what I mean about her being tricky, and how things will slip past, and how, so Gil will think, okay, she can't stand dogs. What should I do about my dog? Should I do this and that? When the meanwhile, it's just, she wanted a smaller dog. She wanted her
No,
own dog. So I think that's what I mean by she's tricky.
no, she's and that it wasn't in that scene. It was a scene before it. I feel like it was the scene at the after the wedding, like when they did their champagne toast. She said, "I don't like dogs. I don't do dogs." I feel like she's literally said, "I don't do dogs. I don't like dogs." She could have said only small dogs, only saw dogs that don't shed. She
Mhm.
made it that hype was the worst thing in the world, and now she wants a dog. But I feel like, did they have these conversations that like now she's like, now I'm going to get a dog? Girl, like you could just admit that this marriage did have a positive effect on me. Like he wasn't the right one, but there's some things that I did like about it, and there's some things that I did get used to. I did start to like hype. I did start to um like the togetherness a little bit. No, she was just like, nope, I never said I loved you. And I don't even think that she said she liked spending time with yeah, she never said I loved you, but she said I really like my husband. She never gave him the impression. She should have, and this whole time we even said, girl, tell him that you don't like him saying calling you those things. She even called herself, she said, I'm a diva, I'm a brat. Like she has said that about herself. So if she didn't like him saying that about her, she should have said something. And again, just like Bao, for everything Bao that is a little bit awkward, I said, I don't like when you say, tease me about this thing. It makes me uncomfortable. She could have said something. And I just feel like those were real tears. He's a man that doesn't cry a lot. So when he does cry, when he does get emotional, those were honest. And he's not going to give you full waterworks. And I remember someone was saying, well, it was only 2 months. I can't believe he's like going all overboard. No, he's not going overboard. He's tearing up because he was like, this is not just the end of, like, him not taking the wedding ring off. Like, he really wanted this. He's like, my wife is this type of person, but it's nothing that I was like wanting to end the relationship over. So I just feel like, yeah, I choose to love my husband. I wonder if Gil asked her to break that down. Like, and because I think that he did when they were in the kitchen. They actually had a conversation. Now, that conversation might have been cut a little bit, but he said, what does that mean, you choose to love me? Like, it's like making a choice. Yeah, let's call a thing a thing. Myrla is manipulative with her words. This is why she acknowledged she is a lot to handle. She said, I'm a lot. I'm a lot to handle. I'm moody. I'm like, good gracious. And that's why sometimes he would just like, geez. And last thing I want to talk about, him just saying, you know what, I'm done. I think just like you were saying, earlier we were talking about Brett and Ryan, and we talked about some personality types. When certain people are quiet, then you get quiet, or certain, a loud person, sometimes you'll get quiet. I think Gil is that personality types that he said, I don't like this mood that I'm in. I don't like just sitting here. And he even said, when you get in a bad mood, he said this to Myrla, that affects my mood. I think that is his personality type too, that he doesn't like being negative. He said, I feel negative. I feel like this has hurt me so much that I need to get out of this position I'm in mentally. And that's why he had to leave. He had to just leave the situation, and he needed to heal himself, because I think that he is that type of person that needs to be in a positive mood, because certain people have seen a lot and they need to be positive and think that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. So that's my last thing. Go ahead. Let's talk
I
about the experts. I'm sorry.
the I just wanted to touch on when Gil got up and left, and then here come Michaela running after. I was like, Michaela, if you don't sit down,
Her in them silver shoes.
down, like what are you doing? And then she went back there, and then she went with the water where she was like, yeah, yeah. Michaela, now Michaela, you just cussed Zach out. Now you want to act like you are sentimental and you just understand. And I feel like she used Gil as a scapegoat. She like, he leaving, let me get on this train so I can be on out of here too, because I'm done. I don't want to be here no more anyway. So I think she was definitely using Gil in that moment to get out early so she don't get fined.
I will agree with you on that. I thought that was the funniest thing. And I was going to say it, but I said, no, I'm going to let Misha say it. But and she was constantly having to pull up that shirt. I was like, why was that the right choice? Why was that the right outfit to choose, Michaela? And then she having to run after Gil. And she said, I need to go too. So she said, this is my exit. Yes, thank you. Okay, so let's talk about where are they now. Like, when they would have their little one-on-one conversations, we could tell that they're just friends. We could tell that he needed somebody to talk to or to vent to, and they were just like, we could tell that there was no
Wait, let's
connection.
get into the post because Michaela did a post with her and Gil. She took a picture with her and Gil, and she basically said in the bottom, friends like male and female can be platonic without any sexual feelings or anything like that. And she said, me and Gil have morals, we have respect. We're not going to cross that line. Yes, we were like on the cast, but we're not going to basically do what Johnny and Myrla are doing and do what Zach and Bao are doing. Because even it was kind of odd to just see everybody entangled and engulfed, because last season we saw the girls were with the girls, the guys were with the guys. Even when the show ended, you saw the girls remain girls, the guys remain guys. That's fine. But when you start entangling, and now Johnny and Myrla are on a trip, and Brett and Gil are like, but they were platonic, so it didn't really bother me. But it's just weird how it's all unfolding, and it's just weird.
I agree. It is just weird. Um, but because, and the only reason, as y'all know, because of how Johnny treated Bao this whole time, I was like, listen, if Zach is gonna treat her any nicer, more power to her. I don't necessarily see like a huge, like a long term relationship, but hey, like Bao, at least we can see a different side of you. Um, a different, yeah, a different just side of you. You were just really sad. And the weird thing is, like, going back to them a little bit, he kept, I felt like Johnny was breaking her down. Like, and she even said, I feel like I'm gonna have to be the stronger one in the relationship. So if she becomes stronger or shows a different side of her, then great. But I do think it is, this intermingling is weird. It's a little strange. Um, but one thing that I would say, and they touched on it at the reunion, I think, and I said this before, Brett and Gil should have gotten together. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
Johnny even said that.
Yeah, that they should have. I think that she would show him, they would show each other the consideration a little bit. Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I just think their temperaments are a little bit more alike, but that's not knowing them personally. That's what I see. Um, but yeah, it's just, and can we talk about these experts a little bit?
Yeah, go
The,
ahead.
ugh, ugh. First, Dr. V didn't say hardly anything. She touched on it just tiny bit. She told Myrla that if when you first started this journey, I should have asked you what was your deal breaker to getting a divorce. I was like, where's that coming from? Um, uh, Dr. Pepper, she told Jose, listen, you have some serious anger issues that you need to deal with. Um, but that's it. They really didn't. I will give you that. Oh, wait, I want to go back to Dr. V a little bit. Said that Bao was a manipulator. Bao, like, she plans out her conversations and we all manipulate. I was like, no, 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 no. We all kind of, okay, if I'm gonna have to talk to certain, how, because you, especially when you don't know somebody. If I was talking to my brother, I would just, hey, let me ask you a question. If I have to talk to somebody I don't know that I just met 2 weeks ago or a month ago, okay, how am I going to brace this conversation? It's not, I don't think that she was manipulating. Yeah, Seller, you think that she should resign? She should resign. She's the one who thought Gil's sex appeal could conquer all. Yeah, I don't know about that. I do. Again, I'll say this. I did like the beard. Um, I think that chocolate looks good in burgundy. I love a burgundy. But but yeah, I just, and their connections. They just, the only one that we thought that I will give them that we were vote very wrong on was Johnny and Bao. That we were like, I was like, oh, this is gonna be a good couple, and we were dead wrong.
I think they were gonna be the highlight of the season in a good way. But for Dr. V, to be honest, I don't remember a word she says, because she got that high pitched retail customer service voice, and I'm just like, when I hear it, I'm just like, like I can't do it. So I could not hear a word she said. And Pastor Cal, he believes in that struggle love. So of course I knew he was on the Myrla hate train. Like, why? I was expecting that from him. So yeah, but Dr. Pepper, see, this is okay. Dr. Pepper showed up for part 2 of the reunion, but this is what we were kind of wanting the whole season. Every time we were seeing her throughout the season, we were like waiting for her to go in and hit it hard like she did last season. Like last season, Pastor Cal and Dr. Viviana, they're very soft and very surface, but Dr. Pepper came in, she gave everyone smoke. But this season, it was like she laid low and then waited till part two. I'm like, the paper's assigned now.
Right.
Like, why did you wait till now to do all this? So I was just like, y'all go sit down somewhere.
Go sit down somewhere. I agree. And honestly, and you watched from the first season, they apparently, and I know that one is in Dr. V, one of them is a new expert or whatever.
Mhm,
But to me, they need to show up more than 3 times in 2 months.
mhm,
Like, and did they really do? Apparently, these guys do like 600 word evaluation, then they do another evaluation, then another evaluation, and then you go and you pair them with these people that are the opposite of what they like, they opposite of what they wanted. The only thing I will give them is Ryan and Brett. Ryan, he wants what he said his type is. Man, you've been dating millions of women that are your type, and you need to stop. That's the only thing that they said that was right. They were like, if you've been dating your type for years and it's not been working, let's give him something that's not his type, but is still a good person. That's the only. Other than that, like you guys just paired just opposite and just did horrible. I know Tia Maria has issues with these experts too. Like this whole thing. So Tia said that she didn't think Johnny and Bao would work when we saw that they already knew each other. Oh, good point. I don't know.
mhm.
I kind of I did think that they would work. I did. I said this is going to be a really cute couple. I really thought that
But like
sometimes when you go ahead.
that wedding was beautiful. I think that's what got me
Absolutely.
hyped up. The wedding,
I
then
agree
they
with you.
went to that hotel and they had them red bed sheets. I was like, "Ooh, yes!" But I was just excited for the diversity. This was their
Yes.
first Asian couple, so I was like here for it. I thought it would be good, but yeah, I
I
guess that's a really good point that they already knew each other because I
you
didn't
know,
put that into that.
I agree with that. I love the diversity. I love seeing like traditional wedding ceremonies that we don't see. I loved that.
Mhm.
But I thought, sometimes when you not pass somebody over from 10, 20 years ago, but when you're like, huh, sometimes you start to see something in them that you didn't see before. So I still thought it was going to work. Um, basically until the honeymoon. I was like, oh, this is, when he laid everything out on the beach and everything, I said, okay, this is going to work. And then after that just went all downhill. And I knew the minute I just knew it wasn't going to work after that. But I did. Sometimes you see somebody that you hadn't seen in years type of thing, and they look different than they did in college or in high school. That's what I thought. But nope. Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
that's the only one. The but these, I agree that Pastor Cal. It's not that he believes in struggle, but well,
He
I'm hearing
he
about his
definitely
book. Yeah, the struggle of thing, because he did an interview, and he in his book, he has a new book, Marriage Isn't for Punks, and
yes, I
he says that
remember.
sometimes cheating's not a deal breaker and stuff. So, and I haven't read the book, but I do know that there's some things in that book that I'm like, what? so yeah, these experts, they need to do more. They just need to do better. They just need to do better.
I
Yeah,
agree.
Mavs is a sink or swim social experiment. The experts should be life jackets, but they aren't. Life,
Right.
yes, that's a good point, Tia. Yep.
So Kirby
Um,
wanted to know, are we watching the next season?
I
I
know.
don't know. I already saw the pictures and it already looks staged. It's like that I haven't even seen any clips, but I've had a headache and not a headache, but I just felt like okay, did I just waste 2 hours sitting here? Could I have actually been doing something productive with my time? So yeah, no.
Yeah, and so that's exactly what we were going to talk about tonight, is because we've both said that after 2 seasons, last season or the season before last with Chris and Paige, and the Ryan and the Ryan and Claire, and all of that season, and Virginia and Eric, and now this season, it's just like I don't know if I can do it again. We need at least one season with a Woody and Amani. I just we need, and we like the love stories. We're not people that just love the
That's what
drama.
we
Like,
need. It's just one couple. So if they would have just put Gil and Brett together, and who cares about the rest? That would have been enough. But the fact that all these couples, you're like, what in the hell? Like, no.
right. I don't know that I could do it again. And just like, and I said, well, maybe I'll watch the, like, when they introduce the couples, but I saw some pictures. I haven't seen the couples yet, but yeah, I don't know if I can do it, y'all. We need one Woody and Amani. We need one. It's just, and it's frustrating that it's a lot of the black couples. That's another thing that's frustrating. And this season apparently has got 2 black couples on there. I'm like, oh, I don't know.
And they're all like, it was Paige the season before. Now this season it was Michaela with her anger, and it's just like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, Foxy said if we want drama, we can watch Marriage Boot Camp. Um, yeah, I skipped last season. So, like, let us know if you guys want us to do another do next season, or if there's another reality show that you think that we, of course, we're doing. I'm gonna, and I was actually talking to Aries AW about Love on Stage, and she said, girl, go back and review it. So I have the app and I love it. I love it. And I was like telling Misha about it at the beginning, but I will probably, yes, I love it. I love Love on Stage. It's great. So I will probably be doing that. Because it's a great show, and it's a good show. Yeah. They take care in matching these couples.
That's very true.
Tia, you have a good point. Would we have a deep dive discussion if it wasn't drama? I think we would. I still think, because even with Woody and Amani, like, there wasn't a lot of discussion, but they're different. There were different couples. I think we would still. There's still things to touch on. There's still things to look at people's behaviors. We need at least one or two couples that are like, because relationships aren't perfect, so we could still talk about it.
Right, but we also need examples of a healthy relationship and healthy love as well. Like, yes, it's a great discussion to analyze these difficult times and relationships, but we also need some good. We
Yeah.
also need to see like resolution and how to overcome and all that stuff as well. So I agree. I understand why Married at First Sight exists, but I do think they're ratings driven. So
True. No, you're right. And no, you're absolutely right. And I paused because I just remember Paige standing in that parking garage just watch, and I was like,
you know
I don't
what,
have to do that. Let's
Crystal?
just rate. When you said ratings driven, that took me to that scene. It's like, what are y'all doing?
It's not even like the drama doesn't even bother me. It was the dragging. Why did it take 10 episodes to get here? That's what really bothered me.
You're right. It did not need to be 10 seasons. That's a good point. Yeah, they are ratings driven. So Kimberly's saying, yes, please do next season. I'm gonna need I don't know, some wine or some alcohol, because stuck. I don't know. We could. Well, I'm gonna think on that. We got until January. The and honestly, did they go? They matched these couples. They've already cast these couples. Maybe we'll. They've already met in Boston. They've already cast these couples. So I'm not sure, y'all. It's a great show. I'm like shouting from the rooftops for everyone to get the Kev on Stage app. It's a dating show. 3 couples. There's one couple that don't make it. One couple just was dating since the second date. Since I think before the second date. So and one couple is still together. They're the couple that I just did not see matching. So no, there's 2 couples I did not see matching. One did not make it at all. So yeah, we're gonna think about this if we're gonna do because we're both like, nope, we're not gonna do it. Y'all are
Let's
like,
watch 1 or 2 episodes. Let's get a feel.
So this is what we'll do. We will promise to watch the matching episode and the first episode, and we'll take it from there. That's what we'll do. That's what we'll do.
It's in January. That does give us a little break from this. I believe it's January, right? I think.
Yeah, it's January. That's what I'm saying, this Salsa, because I was like, this is too soon. Like, we just got done with Houston, and now we're going into did y'all even take 2 weeks to match
them couples? In San Diego right now, filming the reunion.
They're in San Diego with because the next season after January is in San Diego. So are y'all taking the time to actually talk to these couples, match them on purpose for a lifelong, relationship, or you're just matching them for the drama? That's what we're questioning. Y'all, thank you so much. We will be back at 10 for CMK. I was about CMK Ladies Lounge.
3 hours. No, 2.
Yeah, 10 p.m. 2.5 hours.
Okay.
Yep. For CMK After Dark, and Miss Kia Simone's going to be joining us. So thank you guys. And then Sunday, same time,
Ready to Love.
Place for Ready to Love. Thank you guys so much.
Oh, make sure y'all check out Kimberly Reviews. I believe she's going live like literally in a couple minutes to do her Ready to Love live. So make sure y'all check out Kimberly Reviews too. And yeah, are there any other YouTubers? I don't know if there's any other in the comments. I know Marcella was here earlier. She's always supporting. But yeah,
check out so much.
Yeah.
So
we'll see y'all soon. We gotta get
tonight
ready.
I got a wardrobe change coming. So see you tonight. Thank you.